Thursday, head coach Tommy Lloyd recapped his first year at Arizona. He shared his thoughts on Ben Mathurin declaring for the NBA draft, players on the roster still mulling over their decisions, and the program's outlook on the 2022-23 season, and much more.
I know you guys are going to have a million questions about things going forward because that's all you guys care about, and I don't probably have a ton of specifics for you today, on that kind of stuff. So obviously Ben left, and we're happy for him. And had an incredible year. A couple other guys are still figuring out what they're going to do, and I don't think any final decisions have been made at this point. So, that's what I got for y'all. See you guys next year.
So you said Ben was on a 2-year plan initially.
Yeah. Well, I mean that was me probably more than him, but I just think that to make it to the NBA is so hard. And I think the moment a player or the people around him think he's close, I think that's the moment you got to realize how far away you really are. And it's taking that next what might seem like little step, it's just really hard. I mean that there's a bunch of incredible players in that league, and it's so competitive that you just want to make sure your players are putting themselves in the best position to be successful, because no matter where you're drafted or how good people think you're going to be, it's still really hard. And so so sometimes I like to maybe take the pressure off the players a little bit, and then have them understand there's more than a 6-month window to make it. And so because hey, at the end of the day, I don't want them living and dying on every jump shot. That shot goes in, they think they've done what they need to do, and they miss the next two, and they think the world's crumbling. So that's just the way. I like to have a long-term outlook on this stuff, and make them understand at the end of the day, let's get as good as you can, and then when you're ready to make that leap, it'll be pretty obvious. No, I think we pretty knew that the track he was on, and Ben and I had communicated openly all year about everything, and he's an awesome dude, a great young man, and I'm really thankful, that he decided to stay here, and I think he had a good experience, and I had a great experience coaching him. Trust the process. I mean, I think we're in great shape. I love where we're at, and just listen. There's people decide to do things for whatever reason, and this is how I operate, and I think we're in great position, and I think we're going to have a really good roster next year, and I think we'll be extremely competitive, and I'm excited about that. It's been awesome. I mean, it's been a ton of fun. It's been a little bit of an adventure, and it's been humbling, at times. And then I've just obviously been able to reflect a little bit since the season's been over, and I'm excited to do it again. And I've already working through my own little processes of how I digest things in the off season, and the things I want to work to get better, and I just know this, I was fortunate enough with some of these Coach of the Year awards, that one of them, whatever I had to received at a media timeout in the national championship game, and I walk out on that court, and I was tired. It had been a long, just going through the season and that. But when I stepped foot on that court on that Monday night, I was like, yeah, this is where I want to be. And I don't take it for granted. I'm not making any promises, but it definitely added some fuel to my fire. No, I mean, listen, I think we've all seen college basketball's really changed the last 10 years, and then the last 5 years, and then the last year. I mean, there's been significant changes. So I just think you buckle up, and you understand it's going to be a busy off season, and you try to look at the options available, and for me, the number one options available are always the guys currently on the team, and then trying to do what's right by them. And I've always let you guys know my favorite players are the ones on our roster, and so you try to help them figure out what they're going to do, and give them some space so their families can do what they do, and then I try to fill in the gaps accordingly. But there's no crazy master plan or anything. It's honestly just navigating things day to day and trying to make the best decisions you can, for the program. Guys, everything's in flux. Yeah, you know what I mean. We'll see. How many scholarships we end up having, and and hopefully we'll be able to find some guys to fill the open spots. Bruce, I think I don't do great in hypotheticals, so that sounds like a hypothetical question to me. And listen, there's lots of options being talked about, and lots of decisions that have to be made, and ultimately I don't get to make a lot of those final decisions. Those are the players and their families, so I'm going to respect that. Well, I don't know, Fringe. I'm sure he'll get drafted. He had a great year, and he's a great young man. Just choose wisely. These are big decisions that'll impact the rest of your life. And then ultimately, whatever decision you make, it's your responsibility to make it the right decision. That's what basically my message is to them. What surprised me the most? Obviously, guys, I don't think when since it is my anniversary, I don't think when I sat here, a year ago that I would have suspected we had the season we were going to have. But, as it started playing out, I saw it, and I was like, I knew we had something. I'd been part of good teams before, and I thought we were a good team and had a chance to be great. So just maybe that was a little bit of a surprise. But then when you peel back the layers, and I think back to our first workouts here and how we, attacked fundamentals and some of the concepts we wanted to play with, and just to see the progress the guys made and how much each player improved individually, was pretty significant, and it was a lot of fun. Well, obviously it's great, but I think that the buy-in has to be earned, and obviously I felt like myself and our staff, really worked at that, and we wanted to develop trust with these guys, and we wanted our relationships with them to be authentic. And to be real, and so we spent a lot of time working on that stuff. Yeah, I think everybody's figuring out all their options. As I tell people, April in college basketball is a crazy time. Everybody takes a step back, and every coach wants to renegotiate. Every player wants to know what their options are, and so everybody kind of takes a step back and looks at it, through their own lens, and so. Yeah, I feel good, guys. Obviously there's no guarantees about anything, but I feel great, that we're going to have a really good roster next year, and I'm excited for that. Well, I think they all try to get their license eventually, but this is what I know. I think Kerr's a better shooter than a driver. So beware. To be honest with you, we've had a couple young kids that fortunately we've done okay recruiting wise with. I don't know, obviously can't say too much, but in those ones, the NIL never even came up. That doesn't mean that they won't participate in it, but it wasn't a significant factor in either one. I know that there's being a lot of work done behind the scenes to try to figure out how they can navigate that, and but again, that's stuff that's beyond my legalese or my pay grade. So, I'll leave that to the experts. It could. It could factor in to some of these things, but again, it's nothing where we sat down and plopped a number on table in front of a guys and said stay for this, because listen, it's college, and listen, I'm totally great with guys being able to take advantage of their name, image, and likeness, and I think it's a good thing and it's a positive step, but. I think you still got to maintain some of the college spirit, the college, experience. I think that's a big part of it. And if they're financially driven, the great thing for them is they have options. And there's places that, where you can go be a professional basketball player. Well, the first step is everybody's got to get better individually, and everybody in the coaching staff has to take a step forward. In those two things, that's where your first area of improvement is just improving your personnel, and so that's what we're going to attack this offseason. And then secondly, it'll be it obviously probably depends exactly how we played by how our roster ends up looking, obviously those last couple of games were extremely physical, and I didn't think we were a soft team, but they were physical. So, can we find a ways to be a little bit more physical in some of those matchups against the TCU or a Houston to kind of increase our margin for error? Would be an area that I would like to see, but that's easier said than done. So, and then tactically, I felt good about the steps we're able to do this year and the things we're able to put in, and is just to keep growing, our attack at both ends of the floor. I mean, I think you're always looking for that. But, at the end of the day, hey, we had a great season. We came up a little bit short of winning it all. But I think we had the pieces were good enough to do that, but there's probably some other teams that could say that too. So, I don't necessarily think we totally need to reinvent the wheel either. Well, first off, I think he's a really good player. I think he's really talented. I think he fits our culture. Stylistically, I think he's going to be a really good big here. I think he's skilled. I think has a little toughness and physicality about him that I've really seen develop this last year, and he's got great hands. He can throw in a jump hook, he can duck in, he can catch a lob, he can make a three from the top of the key. I mean, there's a lot of things to work with there. So, I can't wait to get him here, and I think he's going to make a huge impact, over the course of his career. I mean, not really. I mean, Houston's they're their own animal, and they're probably way closer to the fifth best team in the tournament as opposed to a 5 seed, and it's just one of those tough matchups. And they caught us, and caught us on a good day where we didn't play great, and probably energy might have been running a little bit low as we got towards the end of the season. I mean, that was a hard run, and maybe it just all kind of caught up with us at the end. But nothing but respect for Houston, and I tip my hat to him. Well, I mean, those are personal conversations usually, but obviously I tell him he's a great kid, and I think his best days are ahead of him, as a basketball player. I thought you were going to ask, when I'm hanging out by the pool, and soon. Guys, I haven't stopped. I haven't been able to stop. For me, so I'm still figuring all that stuff out a little bit. I mean, I went to the Final Four, had to do a bunch of things back there. Came home for a few days, went back east recruiting. Had to do a deal in St. Louis on Monday, got here Tuesday, lunch. So I'm just getting my feet on the ground. So, we'll figure all that out. We'll have a good summer with the guys, and I'm sure we'll have guys, playing on national teams kind of all over the place, and, in youth tournaments and stuff like that. So, we'll figure it all out, and we'll have a great summer. And I love working with the guys in the off season. I think it's really important, and I plan on, taking full advantage of it. We're working on a lot of things right now. Nothing specific. Nothing specific. I mean, obviously Tennessee's coming here next year. We're in Maui, and we're trying to figure out the rest of the schedule, as we go. And I'm sure those things will start coming out here shortly. But to be honest with you, I don't have anything beyond those things right now. I mean, those are all conversations we're having, and and we'll see where it goes from there. But hey, guys, listen, scheduling something that everybody's always going to complain about, and it's not an easy thing to do. And I just know this year, with the schedule we had, we inherited some of it, we did some of it on our own. We ended up being a 1 seed, so maybe the formula wasn't so bad. I'm happy for him. Liam wanted a chance to. He felt like. He had a better opportunity to get on the court there, and that's ultimately what he wants to do. He's worked really hard, so the coaches were great, and the great thing about Liam is he handled that all on his own. I was pretty busy, so he handled it all on his own, and he feels really good about the decision. So we're going to support him. Well, the defensive game plan might be to push that game back a few years. That might be the defensive game plan. So so we'll see on that one. Well, we're listen, everybody's having conversations about all that stuff right now. And, I just told our guys, hey, we don't need to rush to any decisions. Let's just make sure that we're all making decisions we're comfortable with.
We'll keep you updated on Arizona's basketball off-season news. For GOAZCATS.com, I'm Averie Klonowski.